I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. And today we're doing Liverpool against the Fulham. A couple of things to talk about here. There are some controversial decisions if you watch the game live, where you could have argued that there should have been some red cards for Fulham. There was one blatant one, I think, where the Fulham players just smacked and just kicked the Liverpool player petulantly as he's running away. I've seen red cards given for that all day. But there was a red card for Andy Robinson, and we'll be coming on to that as well. But we're going to talk about the first goal first. Now, also, Fulham were kind of disappointing in the fact that they did go 1-0 up and a player up, and they didn't sort of put the screw to Liverpool and really just batter them and put the game to bed. It's all on Fulham there. They really should have. They've got the quality and the ability. They just didn't do it. So let's just look at this first goal that's coming up here, though. Completely and utterly unmarked here. Well, that's fine because the ball's going to him. So let's see how much pressure we can put on him when the ball arrives to him. Now, it's a bouncing ball, and it takes its time to get there. It dribbles across, and the old wee chappie's got the ball. So now you're looking to try to put pressure on the ball, but not too much, because there is space in behind you. Remember, the space is dangerous, not the ball at this point. You can't really afford to put the pressure on if you are the right back, because you are going to open up the massive space in behind you and make it easy for the player. He's either going to put the ball in there and chase after it, or he's just going to put the ball in there and another player's going to run onto it. Clearly, he's offside right now, so it wouldn't be him, but maybe if he gets himself back on. But here's the other issue. As you move it forward, now he's stopped still, and this is where we're looking at. The supporting players coming here from Fulham, but where the Liverpool guys are, they're just too far away to sort of impact the play or do anything. Now, here is quite interesting because this is a little bit of good defending in the Premier League. Remember, what you want to do is you want to look at the player and look at the ball, look at the player and look at the ball. And here's Van Dijk looking at the player, and so he can assess the situation and looking at the ball. Of course, wee little kiddie gets sent off here. He's coming back in just to do his job, tucking in a little bit slowly, but he's pointing at someone to do a job. And we know this rule on the channel. If you're telling somebody what to do in the next 5 seconds, someone's about to score a goal on you in the Premier League. Maybe you should concentrate on your own job instead of telling other people what to do. So, as you can see, there's absolutely no pressure on the ball here. He's still in a sticky wicket, because if he goes forward now, he's in real trouble, because now there's 2 Fulham players here, and there's still no support for him to try to pressure the ball, because it will just get played past him into this empty space here. Now, you can see the Liverpool players, their runs are flat. What I mean by flat is they're not actually getting goal side to actually defend the ball here, and actually try to put pressure on the ball, because they're coming from the blind side. They're making real terrible recovery runs here. But as we move this forward, now the ball is played down here, so it's still a 1v1 situation. Now this is the point where you can really try to put pressure on if you're the right back, because that space is still there, but now you're in some danger. Now this ball has been played, he can just carry it on the run and do some real damage to you, so you have to get close, you have to put pressure on the ball at this situation. And you do have players now recovering. Now, here's another little tip here. If this is the centre line, here's where 2 centre-backs are. They're getting pulled out of shape. You've still got quite a nice little 3 there. Still quite happy with it. But one of my rules of thumb is this, is you cannot have your centre-backs getting pulled out into these wide positions. What's a wide position? Anything past the 6-yard box. You cannot have both centre-backs on the same side. So one can be over there, but if the other one gets caught past that line, that means you're completely exposed on the blind side on the back post. Watch what happens here when we've got this little run in. Van Dijk was aware of this player here, but this is a problem, because you can see the left back here was lazy to get into his shape. He's let the player get in between him and the ball. He's not goal side, so he has to make a recovery run. He has to try to get there before the ball is now. Otherwise, he's in trouble. All right. Otherwise, he's not really defending the player. He's just letting the striker do what he wants. He has to get in the way of him and the striker. So when this ball comes across over here, I'll show you why that is in a minute. So now we've got this here. So now he's kind of losing the striker. Does that make sense? He's allowing him to do what he kind of wants, and he's not really putting his body on him or slowing his run down or making his presence known. So there's 2 reasons you do that. One reason is you annoy the hell out of him and you break him up of his flow. But the second reason is you actually know where he is. We used to do this thing where, teach people to hold their shirts just like that. So if it moves, you don't have to look at him, but you know he's moved because he's broken that little bit there. You're not pulling his shirt, you're just holding it ever so tightly, so if he moves you can turn and see what's happening. He's not close enough, nowhere near. So when this ball comes in as well, this little run takes out not 1 but 2 Liverpool centre backs. Watch this. As we move it forward, off they go. Look, 1, 2 are going here. They're completely negating this blind side. Now, you've only got your left back here to deal with this problem. So, well, he better deal with it, right? That's his job. He must deal with this ball incoming now. Now, the problem is when you're a little bit late to getting into shape, you're not quite at your rhythm. You're not quite where you need to be. And it is only that little, that's it, half a step. It's all that matters at this level and at this pace. First off as well, he shouldn't have got such an easy crossing, but there was no pressure from Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think he's Kyle Walker in disguise this weekend and just let the ball come in quite easily. Now, when this ball's floated over here, the back stick, you can see both centre-backs have gone past what I like as that line there. One of these guys should be a little bit closer. That would have forced the left back to just be in a little bit of a better shape, but you can see how tight and close they are because they got caught up in a single run there. Not a good partnership, these two. Never really rated these two playing together. Well, they did for the first year or so, and they were average, but I just don't think they've got any real chemistry, these two. Gomez is okay, but he's just not up to the standard to play on this Liverpool team, in my opinion. So when this ball was dropping, all the left back had to do was be close enough to this guy so he could track his run, but he's not. Nowhere near him. So now, Bump gets it in. And if he's close enough, he blocks that. He's just not. He's in no man's land. He's just let the player drift completely all the way from the 18-yard box, all the way into the 6-yard box. He doesn't know where he is. He wasn't watching him, wasn't tracking his run. And he did a little, all he did was do a little outside, stopped his run, waited for the cross, and then finished it. Well, he didn't know where he was or what he was doing. And you can see by his reaction right there, he knows. Oh, let's just go back ever so slightly. As it goes through, watch his reaction. There we go. He knows he's done wrong. He knows it's responsibility, and everybody's looking at you. So being a technical coach, doing technical breakdowns and fundamentals and stuff for God knows how many years now, this would drive me mad. This player here, I would be shooting with a shotgun after the game if he does this. The reason he's making a mistake is because he's using the wrong foot. He's using the outside of his left foot instead of the inside of his right foot. You do not have to be good with the inside of your right foot, okay, to control this ball, because you can make a bad touch, but you keep it in front of you and you keep going. The problem when you use the outside of your left foot, when you are on the run, is you're always susceptible to this mistake here. Always, because you're on the run, it's got such a chance of it skipping off your foot, no matter how good you are, even if you're Roberto Carlos. So if you're doing this, you're basically setting yourself up to make a mistake. If you receive this ball 2 times, 1 time, you're going to make a mistake. That's what's going to happen if you keep receiving it on the outside of your foot like that. Instead of just playing it on the inside of your right foot, going away into this space here and making it an easy day. Instead, tries to be a bit clever, skips off his foot, because he's trying to control it, and instead of just using the inside of his right foot. And he's going to go, oh, but he's left-footed and all that nonsense. Yeah, I know, but you know what? I can do that on my left foot. I'm sure he can do that with his right foot. But he doesn't, and now he's in all sorts of trouble. I don't know why the VAR check, if you were watching this real time, took so long, but apparently they're trying to create drama. I don't know. It just shows us that they're really, really incompetent at refereeing, and that's what it really comes down to. There is an argument that Van Dijk would be covering. Yeah, maybe. But look, this is a clear foul. I've seen it given as a red. I've seen it given as a yellow. Yeah, it's I have this weird thing, right? I think it was Liverpool. They were doing a really good run, and then they played a game where they got taken down to 10 men, and every referee decision went against them, and they basically got knocked out of the title race because of that momentum of how much that hurt their season. I think it was Tottenham last year, and they scored a goal, and it wasn't a goal, and it was just, and that moment, that all of their energy went out of their season from that momentum. And it seems like that teams, especially like referees, after that Coots guy is rallying around. You don't want to say it, but you know what? It seems like, oh yeah, you didn't like him, we'll get him for you. Because you remember, they're a good old boys network, and they do look after each other, no matter how much they want to lie to you. But there we go. It's clear foul. Could be a red. I'd say it's a strong yellow, definite, well, not a definite red, but it's so, they're not going to overturn it. Let's get on to the next one. So overall, this is completely and utterly awful by Fulham, okay? You're in a situation where you're 1-0 up and you've got a player extra than them, and for some reason you're 4v2 marking here. You're letting Mo Salah be completely open, which I think is mindless. Honestly, right, if you could do this at this point, right, you're going, right, you're 1-0 up against Liverpool. Mo Salah's their best player. You've got an extra player. Can we just go sit one player and man mark him for the whole game? to stop them counter-attacking or doing anything. Just sit with him. Don't play with the rest of the team. Your job is just to take Mo Salah out of the game. So we'll play 9 versus 10 everywhere else, and you just play over there 1v1. That's it. That's what we're going to do. If you did that, you go, okay, that makes sense. We just shut him down. But look at what Fulham decide to do instead. No real pressure on the ball. No one close to Mo Salah. I'm going to make this a point when this pass comes in here. Watch this. Bump, bounce, bounce across the field. It's so slow, so lethargical, but there's nobody close to doing anything or getting anywhere near to the ball. But don't worry, someone's telling somebody what to do in the Premier League. Here we go again. So what we know, in the next 5 seconds, a goal's about to go in. Yes, do your job. Stop telling everybody else to do theirs. I think I've done videos on it before, what the 80 and 20% is when you're concentrating 20% on somebody else and 80% on you, how that brain works and what you do. Yeah. Go find it. Anyway, so now you're looking at a situation where you've got Mo Salah on the ball just by the 18-yard box and there's no pressure on him. Have a guess what might happen? A goal. He has time to take a bad touch, take another touch, and have a look up. And still no one's closing him down properly. As we move this forward, look, still no one's closing down. He's winding up here, and here's the runners on the back post here. We've got a bunch coming in, blomp, 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 blomp. So not only did Fulham have the numbers advantage and no pressure on the ball, okay, so they have the numbers of... Now they've lost the number advantage now on the back post, and they've still got no pressure on the ball. I mean, what are they doing? I don't understand how you can have 4 players there. Look at him, he's trying to... What are you doing? You're not in the box. You're not like... Why you got your hands by your side? It's just terrible. Everyone's ball watching, no one's tracking the runners, and in they come, ghosting in, a little header on the back post, and gets himself a goal. It's just too easy. It shouldn't be this easy for Liverpool when they've got a player down. Fulham need to make them work harder than that. Okay, so when you have a little look at this again, you can see Van Dijk, most overrated defender in the Premier League, even though he's played quite well recently. I've got to give him his dues. Not today. You can see that player's... you can see that guy's making a run across with Joe Gomez, who's not very good at the football. And you got Konza, who I highly rate. I think he's had a bit of a dip in form since Slot's come in, but I rated him. He was quite good last year. But this is what's going to end up happening, is you've got 3 centre-backs effectively, even though he's kind of playing out on the right back, I think. And you've got 2 players. So basically, you've got 3v2. Okay, that's all you've got to worry about. You've just got to be strong. So when the ball's coming here, you can't get pressure on it. So you're just going to track your runners. It's not what you want to do, but it's what you have to do because you can't get pressure on the ball. You're hoping that this kiddie comes in here and does it. As he is, look, you see the ball getting slid in through there. Now, this needs to be strength. Strength here. Don't know what you're doing, but the same sort of situation where Van Dijk was coming over to cover for Gomez and ended up doing nothing, he's doing the same thing again here. This is why this partnership doesn't work. There's no cohesiveness between these people at all whatsoever. So basically, Van Dijk's going, all right, Gomez, you've got that guy because I know you're going to defend against him, because that's what he does with Canate. Right? So he's going to go over and attack where the point of the pressure is on the ball, which is on this side. So he's not worried about that blind side. Just like last time, same thing's happening here. Now, this little kiddie here, as the ball goes through, Konza is nowhere near strong enough or fast enough to deal with this. Lets him get around him. And this is even worse because Gomez has been following this guy the whole time. And what's Van Dijk done? Nothing. He's piggy in the middle. There's one fight there and one fight there. Liverpool, all they have to do is win one, and this isn't a goal. Instead, Konza gets beaten here by pace and strength, because if he was strong enough, he would have been able to hold him on the outside. Couldn't, wouldn't, didn't do it. Now you're just looking for Gomez to win that second fight here. Remember, Van Dijk, he's close enough actually. I mean, he's good enough to actually try and get on this pass. He's just slowing down. You can see he's slowed down because the 2 other running players have gone straight past him, and it's in the back of the net box. Gomez should have done better, but he's just not strong enough here on that run. Just nowhere near. And Fulham get themselves another one. Remember, Fulham's got an extra player here than Liverpool, but they are so sort of, panicky. And one thing you can't do against the Liverpool side, this Liverpool side in particular, is sit back and to try to absorb pressure, because they will score on you. One thing that they are good at is scoring goals. Defensively, I know they've been quite strong so far this season, but they can be got at. You can get at this Liverpool team. Simple pass in here though, and it's not even cut out there's no one even close to being able to cut it out. And I don't know why, because they've got all the extra players in the world here. Look at how many free players Fulham have got doing nothing. And it's a simple run, just cutting back into the little half space. the half space is over here. So same thing, but it's in the middle of the field, and it's just making his little run. The ball comes in, bosh, off he goes, and there's not a Fulham player anywhere near him. There's no one in touching distance. This is so easy for Liverpool to get this goal. It is very, very simple. Look at how many Fulham players are doing nothing. Nothing. Simple ball in now, and all he's got to do is finish. And one thing Jota can do, he can finish. He can get injured, and he can finish. That's pretty much it. When the ball comes in, bop, in he goes. Bit of control. He's even got time to take a touch because there's still no Fulham players anywhere close to being able to challenge him, which is shocking considering they've got an extra player. It's not that difficult, but apparently it is. Takes a little bit of a touch, cuts him inside. Actually, I watched Jota back when he was at Wolves. I do like, there's certain players that I watched for a long time. I don't really, follow teams. I follow players more than anything else. And he cuts in. He used to do this all of the time. This little turn and cut to beat players. And he normally gets it through their legs. And it's not normally tidy as well. If you see Jota play next time, he'll do that little cut. And he'll get it straight through their legs. Or he'll kind of bounce off the player and he'll scuffle it through the player. All of a sudden, no, gets it. And just takes a shot. Boom, easy, sits the keeper down. Keeper goes way down, way too early for my liking. And Liverpool get themselves an equaliser. I think they'll find themselves, they'd take a point if they were a player down in in the first 20 odd minutes of the game and had to play the whole game with 10 men and still got out of it with a 2-2 because Fulham's a competent side. I mean, they did draw with Arsenal. They have got, they're a good, solid mid-table team. I won't be surprised if they're looking at kicking around the, top 5, top 4 places will come the end of the season. Other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.